So let's go ahead and talk about making a new slide, okay? Because we need to make a new slide for the next slide that we're going to do. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go to New Slide, and then you can see there's different themes that we can do here. We've got the title and content, which is what we're going to end up using, the section header, to content, comparison, title only, blank, which we will use later, content and caption, and picture with caption. So what we're going to go ahead and do right now is we're just going to do the title and content. What that allows me to do is I can put a title up at the top, and then I can put my content right here, which is perfect for what we're using. So what we're going to be using is your Thanksgiving slides here. They should be opened up here at the bottom. And what I have here is I've got the way that my slides are going to work out. This is basically what I call an outline of my slideshow. And when you're doing a slideshow, if you've got multiple slides or even 2 or 3, you should have an idea of how your slideshow is going to be put together. And I do it in a Word form where it's a quick outline telling me what my information is going to be, where the slides is going to be. Does it create more work? Yes. But it also, in the end, it really does save you time. So on my second slide, that's why I got slide 2 here, my second slide is actually going to be called Mayflower. So on this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type Mayflower. And then I'm going to click into this next text box where it says click to add text. So I'm going to click inside of it. Now I'm going to go back to that document, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the sentence where it says the Pilgrims left Europe for the New World aboard a ship called the Mayflower. So what I'm going to actually do is I can do simply without my mouse, I can highlight and I can do it, but I'm going to go ahead, since I've already got my mouse, I'm going to go ahead and start at the end. I like starting at the end and then going up. I know some kids, when they're trying to do this, will try to highlight every word and then they try to go back and then they get confused because no longer is it highlighted. Simply go to the end of the sentence and then go straight up and into the very beginning of the sentence. And now you can right click and copy, or like I like doing, I like the shortcuts, Control C for copy. Then I go back to where that text box, make sure you've clicked in the text box. If you don't, it's going to put something like this where it's a small, very small writing as a new text box. If that does happen to you, remember Control Z fixes everything. But I'm going to click inside the text box. I'm going to do Control and then V. That puts everything right into it. So it's right into this. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is, if you remember from the video that you were to watch before this, the video stated that it doesn't really want bullets. Bullets should be used only if you're listing a lot of things together. Well, I'm not listing anything together. I have one sentence. So what I'm going to do is get my cursor at the beginning, and I'm going to press backspace, and that gets rid of that cursor. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to stretch this text box out by grabbing these knobs on the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and make this text box just a little bit smaller. So it's showing you, even though it showed that this title and content had a large text box, we can manipulate this. We can move this text box down to the bottom. We can move it wherever we want. So we can organize however we want. We don't necessarily have to stay with these constraints. I can make them look like to content. I can do whatever I want, just knowing how to manipulate the text boxes. Again, if I didn't want the text box with it having only with a solid line all the way around it, if I press backspace, it's gone. So I'm going to fix that so it's back. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click off of it. I'm going to click in the blue area so nothing's highlighted. Now what I'm going to show you, typically when you don't know what pictures you're going to have, it's always a better idea to always do your content before you add pictures. So let's go ahead and follow that model where we're adding content without adding the pictures, because I know pictures are fun, I know the actions are fun, but let's do the fun stuff at the end. Let's get our work done quickly and use our time correctly. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to add a new slide. Now, yes, we can go right back up here and add the new slide. We can do that, or we can do simply Control and M as in Mama help me, and right there it is. So we have our new slide. Again, I'm going to go back to my Thanksgiving slides document, and it says it's supposed to be called land with an exclamation point. So I'm going to do land with an exclamation point. Then I'm going to go back into my text box down here at the bottom, go back into this document, and what we're going to copy is where it says, the Pilgrims landed on Plymouth Rock on December 11, 1620. So I'm going to copy that, Control C, go back into it, I'm going to Control B, and there again we have a bullet point, so I'm going to get rid of it. I'm going to stretch this out again. And then I'm also going to make this so that it goes up here, so it's close to the bottom. I can make this a little bit tighter. I don't want to go too tight because then it makes it smaller font size. So I'm going to just make it so that it goes right at it, right there. So I'm okay with that. So again, I'm going to click off of it. In the blue area, click off of it, so it's in the blue area. I'm going to go Control M as a Mama Help Me. Adds another slide. Now you have to be cautious when you're adding new slides. If you want them added here, then you got to make sure that you've clicked on whatever, you got to make sure you've got this slide, whatever, highlighted, because if you don't, if you are on slide 2 and then you do an insert with the slide, then it inserts here at slide 3. So we've now got a space. So you've got to make sure that you're adding the slides correctly. If that does happen, it's no big deal, and I'll show you why. Because if it is right here, all I have to do is click on it, drag it down like you were dragging a file, dragging and dropping. Now, we're back to slide 4. What is my title going to be? I'm going to go to Thanksgiving slides. It's going to be First Winter. So I'm going to go to input First Winter. Then in the text box down below, I'm going to go to where it says, the first winter was very hard when nearly half the pilgrims died. So I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to paste it. Then I'm going to get rid of that bullet point. I'm going to make this text box wider so it goes all the way across. And then I'm going to bring this up so that now it's up here. The next thing I'm going to do is again, I'm going to click off of that text box, so anything that happens won't happen to that text box. I'm going to do Control M again to make my slide 5. Then it's supposed to be Symbols is the title. And then down below, it's going to be in 1621, the harvest was bountiful. The cornucopia or horn of plenty is a symbol of Thanksgiving. So I'm going to copy all that. And then I'm going to paste it. Then I want to backspace, get rid of that bullet point. Extend the text boxes. Hopefully this is getting easy, it's getting kind of standard for you now. You've done it a couple of times. So you can see what we're doing here. So I'm going to click off of it. So I'm going to go in the blue area, Control M. Then this one's going to be called Friends. Then under Friends, it says the Pilgrims shared their food with the Indians to thank them for helping them through the terrible winter. This was the first Thanksgiving. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go into this text box, paste it. I'm going to get rid of, you can get rid of the bullet point as well by clicking up here, your bullets here. As you can see, it's the same exact thing we just did if you did delete. Again, that's your bullet points up at the top. It's standard just like for your Word document. And I'm stretching this out. Put it right there. Click off of it. Now I'm going to Control M again. And our last one, we're actually going to change this. Instead of being a title and content, we want it to be blank. Now I can click on these and delete them, but right up here at the top it says layout. If I click on layout, it's right here. You see new slide, and then layout is right under the word animations. I can choose different ones that I want. I'm going to choose blank. So it makes it blank because we've got something special we're going to do on that one. So now you should have all your slides. If we look at this in slide sorter view, you will see we have all these different slides here. And another great advantage of doing in slide sorter view when you're doing this is, let's say I don't want symbols to be right here. I can click on it and move it. Maybe I want it to be the third slide. And there we go. Now I've moved it to the third slide. So I can reorganize slides. If I've done them all and then I'm like, I don't like where it's at, I can do that. Again, if I don't like where that is, Control Z it and it fixes it, goes right back to it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to slide 2 here. Instead of me going down here, clicking on normal, what I can do is I can double click on this slide and it pops it right back up right there.